Now, while you slowly make your way to your seats, I will start to introduce our next speaker of today. His name is Leon Willems, and he's the Executive Director of Free Press Unlimited. Now, we are very happy to have him here, Mr. Executive Director Leon Willems, and with your welcome, your applause, he will start his speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zamane is an achievement. It exists now for 5 years, and for all of us who've been involved with Zamane, that is something remarkable in itself. You can have an idea, and you can have a vision, and you can have purpose in life, and trying to solve something that you think is urgently needed, like freedom of expression in Iran certainly needs constant attention. And to come up with a concept and find people around the table to do it, and then find out that there are many setbacks. And I think one of the big achievements of Radio Zamane after 5 years is number one, that it's there. I think number two is that in my various travels around the world, I tend to speak to a lot of Iranian taxi drivers for some reason or another. We should talk about it later. Iranians are taxi drivers all around the world, whether it's New York or New Delhi. And I always ask them, you know, my organization is involved with an initiative that tries to reach the people of Iran. And are you from Zamane? They always say. And I say, well, I'm not from Zamane, but I have something to do with it. So it has become, in my view, it has become a legacy medium. A very small one, a very modest one. There's nothing to be arrogant about, but at the same time it is there, it's a brand name, it's an image, it means something, it has purpose for Iranians. And I thought that the opportunity should be given to highlight some of the names of the people who've been instrumental in making this possible, because behind the scenes a lot of people have broken their backs about getting this radio on air and making sure it continues. So I would like to hail the likes of Mehdi Jami, Hossein Alawi, Farid Harinejad, and the current editor-in-chief, Mohammad Reza, for taking the effort to work hard on this. And I would like to get a big applause for you, for these people. And I also think it is important, I mean, from our side, we have from time to time assisted, helped, and we've helped in finding directors who've been working for Radio Zamane. And again, I think it's important also to name these people because they're cemented in history. Again, Mehdi Jami, Zoran Djukanovic, Rut Kronenberg, and Arjen de Wolf, the current director. One of the most important persons on my side that I found has been steering at the helm of the board of Radio Zamane. I would like to have a big applause for Bijan Moshefer. It is important because it matters what people do, and it matters what you don't do. And so I think it's only fair to say that one of the things that we can contribute to the everlasting pain of trying to solve something that is happening in a country that is very far away for us, Dutch, is try to do your very best. And these people certainly have done their best. Why Zamane? Why Zamane? I think when the idea started, the idea was that, we need a niche, we need something exquisite, we need a local network, we need a platform where Iranians can talk to each other. That was the broad vision. And the first phrase that I encountered in this respect was the phrase that was minted by Mehdi, actually, was called "You Media." And I think that it is very important to understand why Zamane is successful. I've transformed the concept, Mehdi, I'm sorry, and I've translated it because we're doing many more projects similar to Radio Zamaneh. And I think that the concept that we try to evoke is we media. Because the basic success of Radio Zamaneh is that, as I was saying before, that Iranians look at Radio Zamaneh and think, this is my medium. It relates to me, it talks about me, it deals with issues that are important to me. And the crucial connection is the local network of contributors from Iran. The fact that it is still being, despite all the repression of internet access, etc., that there is still an audience in Iran for Radio Zamaneh. That is the critical success. And that is what good media do. They make people feel that it is their medium. Now, we've created this platform with a lot of collective effort. And of course, I should also not forget to thank the politicians in the Netherlands who opened the possibility for an Iranian Media in Exile fund, and the tireless efforts of some of the people at Foreign Affairs who've been dearly involved in trying to advocate for Radio Zamaneh and other aspects. We've created this platform, and why then is Iran, in the end of the day, why is Iran still where it is today? Why has this medium, or all the media efforts together, not been able to create that transformative power? Now, I would like to take you away from Iran, because I want to show you something which deals with the discussion that was there before, the discussion about digital media and how does it transform society. I want to take you to a little film that is, you can find on YouTube, which deals with the situation in Uganda. And so, could we roll the film? The audience is, maybe you can keep the audience, the audio low.
This is criminal, brutal,
a bit lower,
and barbaric,
so that I can speak
to say
over
the
it.
least.
This is scenes of the opposition leader of Uganda, Mr. Kize Besigye. He's in the car. And what you are seeing are plainclothes police officers who are attacking him. The opposition leader wanted to go through a rally to demonstrate the food crisis. He's the major contender since 10 years against President Museveni. And here you see a plainclothes policeman smashing the window. And on the right-hand side, you see someone spraying tear gas into the car. And Mr. Besigye is the person who is holding his head in his hands there. This shot is important because it's a social media. It is filmed by a mobile telephone. You can find it, as I said, on the YouTube. This is one of these rare clips that reached international media attention, and it is, as you can see, very gruesome. Actually, Mr. Besigye nearly lost his eyesight. He's been in hospital for several months, and here you see that eventually he's taken out of the car and arrested. Now, why am I showing you that on an evening that we're talking about Iran? That would do in terms of clip. This was a shocking affair. This was something that moved people in Africa, and it is something that everybody thought, this is going to finally be the single biggest mistake that President Museveni made, because these are, within 48 hours, people on the internet and Twitter found out who the culprits were, and there's a picture of the police officer. People found his home. He was attacked on the internet. His wife was lambasted in the supermarket, etc. People had to leave. The problem is that nothing changed in Uganda. Mr. Museveni is still there. Mr. Besigye still ends up in jail every 3 to 4 months, and he's again doing a protest. The police officers have not been arrested. They have not been put in jail. There's been no sanction. The only thing that happened as a result of what this event is that there is now a proposition in Ugandan parliament to stifle the use of social media. So that's a cynical story, isn't it? Why is it so difficult to put up and try to get through to the transformative power of media? Personally, I think that the transformation power of media is very big, but transformation doesn't happen on its own. Citizen journalism has been nouvelle vague, has been consequently criticized heavily. We've heard that in debate before. So why then is it so difficult to get from digital freedom of expression to offline transformation? Well, that is the question that we should all be wondering about. Because in the end of the day, if we can see pictures like these, this is of course Nida, the girl who became an icon in 2009 during the Green Revolution in Iran. Then what does it mean if we haven't been able to release more people? And what can we do? I think that is the question that we have to wonder ourselves. I will make it very simple. I don't have the answers for you. But I think there's one issue that is dear to my heart, which is number one, how can we get traditional media more involved in what is happening in the digital freedom space? And how can we get journalists again interested in Iran? One of the things that Shirin Ebadi said is that we need an engagement with Iran. Put human rights on the agenda, sure, but have a constructive engagement. Where is the interest in Western society, I ask you, to actually know what the hell is happening in Iran? Is Iran only a country that we know about when we speak about the threat of nuclear bombs? Or is it a country that we only talk about when there's widespread chaos on the streets? Or do we need to know more? Do we need to understand Iran better? Do we need journalists going there and reporting about what is happening on the streets? And why is that not happening? We have actually in the Netherlands a very good reporter in Tehran, Mr. Thomas Erdbrink, who is actually, I mean, most of the people here in the room know him. How little time does he get to explain to us what is happening in Iran? So this is a question that I think that I would be interested to hear from the next panel. How can we get more constructive engagement from the traditional press about some of the most important pressuring situations in the world? And I think Iran is one of them. I think Syria is also another one. What do we know about Syria? 2 years in a civil war, what do we know? What images do we have? What stories do we tell? If we can only show pictures like this, and there's no follow-up, there's no deepening story, there's no background, then we're not doing enough. Then we're just running from hype to hype. That is a question to ourselves as well. I think one of the other things that is extremely important, because the transformative power of these images does exist, and I was actually looking at Wikipedia about what we know about Nida today, and the total sum of information is really incredible. It's about 20 pages, which includes information on who is the probable killer. You know, it is very detailed. It's like a human rights record. It's incredible. And that has been done by digital activists also, right? So I'm not saying here at all, I'm not at all skeptic about the importance of social media, but how can we get it further? Now, what I also think is extremely important, and we touched about it in the first panel, is how can we defend digital freedom? We are not doing enough, certainly not in the Netherlands, but also not in any of the Western countries, to defend digital freedom. The principal openness of internet is so damned important in our society today that we need to take better care. How can we protect people better? Now, Free Press Unlimited has launched an initiative to create an internet protection lab, to work with other organizations and jointly fight governments like Iran who are today and yesterday attacking the website of Radio Zamaneh, and they do that with a regular, about every week, Zamaneh is under attack from DDoS attacks, etc., orchestrated by the enemy. So we need to do more. We need to get technicians online. We need to get satellite communications companies online. I think the comments that Mrs. Ibadi made about Eutelsat are very important. We need to get our act together. We need to know also which companies are doing what. So that is an important question. How can we defend digital freedom better? And the third thing is something that always comes up on these evenings, is how can we support Radio Zamaneh better and create a deeper legacy? Because for me, around the world, wherever I go, we have fine projects other than Radio Zamaneh, and I'm proud of all of them. But for me, this is a legacy project. So I'm very happy with Radio Zamaneh, and I invoke you to come to help us discuss these 3 points and support Radio Zamaneh. Thank you.